Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on October 17th, 2021 at approximately 9:34 a.m. PST. Probably should check that first. Anyway, welcome aboard. Actually, I should put it this way. Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life. Now, time to get started redirecting it to where you desire it to be. Let's start with the obvious. Okay, well, actually, before we do that, if you like our video, absolutely give us a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel. There's a lot of information coming out. Okay, and we have, in all fairness, we've changed direction a little, or more to the point, refined it a little. We do have to get back to getting that list together properly, but we're talking about how to get this world to sort itself out. Now, the reality is the world itself is already sorted. But every individual in existence is in exactly the same boat. You're all of exactly the same spiritual value. This does not equate to monetary value. Okay, and I'm still working on understanding that side of it. But when you think of it this way, it is going to take everybody working together to make this a better world for virtually everybody. There will be some people that will undoubtedly be unhappy. Unfortunately, we cannot do much about that. It's kind of like you can't do much about the fact that some people will die. But the one message I returned to this lifetime to bring to you is very simple. Working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everyone. Now, there's a simple trick to it. Karmic law. And compare these laws to the ones that you personally follow. Okay, whether they're social laws, spiritual laws, religious laws, it doesn't matter. Compare them to these three. Be true to yourself first. Do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. Energy out, energy in. Okay, now compare the ones that you follow to those. If you find one that does not fit inside those three laws, absolutely drop me a line below. Drop me a line in the comments or in one of the other ways of connecting with me, listed on below the video. Okay, because I'm looking for anything that fits outside of those. It was once told to me by a very wise individual, when you don't have any physical evidence of something, take a look at the circumstantial evidence, but live your life as though the whatever it is you're looking at is real, but keep an eye open for that one rule, for that one thing that derails the whole system. Thus far, working with the three karmic laws, I have not found a discrepancy. I've not found one law that won't fit inside those three. Now, to be clear, I call myself a spiritual guide, and the reason I do that is because to me it doesn't matter what you're calling God, doesn't matter what you're calling a life cycle, or what you figure happens after you die. To me, it doesn't make any difference. Okay, your skin color is nothing to me but pigmentation. Okay, the way you treat people is what will matter. Not what you look like, not what you dress like, not who you crawl into bed with. It doesn't matter. All of those things are just trappings. Okay, so let's focus on the similarities. Everybody has parents. Okay, now in the case when we're dealing with humanoids, okay, y'all have two. Well, that sounded awfully southern from what I've heard. Anyway, when you have people that are asexual, or when you've got entities that are asexual that produce on their own, okay, through mitosis or what have you, then you may only have one parent. But other than that, you have two parents. In any event, every single living entity is a child. You've got somebody that came before you that you're connected to. No matter what your history, no matter how you got to where you are, you're all in the same place. You're right here, right now. And this is the only time in existence that you can ever do anything. Okay? And quite frankly, you're the only entity in existence that can be successful for you. Okay. Now, from my end, it actually is very simple. I take a look at the energy from a very simple standpoint. Get the energy in your body working properly first. Okay, and that really boils down to mindset. Okay, and what I mean by that is if you've got a goal in mind or you've got a dream that you've had that you desire to make happen, do your best to stay focused on that in spite of people telling you you can't do it. Now, there are certain things, obviously, I do not recommend doing. Although it has been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt to me that many of these things are possible. Okay, it's just the odds are not good. Now, from my standpoint, it's real simple. Okay, I've always been told never judge something until you've tried it yourself. That's a great idea for most things, especially the ones that have a potential of being bad. Where I tried it years ago, and I've mentioned this before, I was told that ketchup on ice cream was a really good and really enjoyable meal. You can try it if you want, it's not harmful, aside from your taste buds, it might play havoc, at least in my opinion. I tried it once, never again. The old idea of, once is not enough. Trust me, with a mix of ketchup and ice cream, once is more than enough in my opinion. But get an idea in your head. Now, as I've mentioned before, I keep three things real handy. You take a look at the energy in your body. Okay. Now, the funny part about it is when we start looking at energy and the energy conduits and what have you, there are two philosophies I've heard of that I've looked into that work with energy meridians. Reiki, and a number of other energetic healing practices, and chiropractic, and what the heck is it called? Acupuncture. Okay, now the neat part about it, from my standpoint, is this: most of the Reiki masters, most of the Reiki healers I talk to, find when they're facilitating healing, they get worn out, and they constantly tell you protect yourself and clear your energy. Well, I did a video a while back on Reiki and the way that works, and I'll probably do another one just as a refresher for those of you that are just joining me. Okay, but you get the energy working in your body first. And the way to do that is keep one thought process in mind anytime you can. Okay, anytime you've got available. And that word is heal. Your body has a perfect blueprint for a perfectly healthy body. Okay. Now, yes, I'm an anomaly where it comes to medical. I really am, as near as I can figure. But I have come to the conclusion that everything I can do, so can you, especially where it comes to healing your own body. Now, understand, much as I personally have all kinds of questions around it, if you don't know what you're doing, absolutely talk to the licensed doctors, talk to the licensed pharmacists, but double check the information. If you don't understand something or if something feels off, double check before you jump in with both feet. Okay, and understand whatever medication you're on, if it's working for you, that's great. Other people don't actually have to have it. I love the post I saw on Facebook the other day. It was priceless. The person says, I suffer from severe allergies. But she goes, I'm so mad right now. I took my allergy medication just like normal, but nobody else took the medication, so now my allergy medication isn't working. Now, that sounds kind of silly, but if you think about it, it's the way that a lot of people are looking at a lot of medication right now. Okay. Now, I am one that is very much into the belief structure that, number one, first and foremost, free choice, freedom, free will. Do what you will, but remember, you've got free will to do what you choose. But you don't have free will to bypass the consequences of what you choose. Okay. It's kind of like there's a law written. Take a look at the law of speed. The law says you can't drive over this speed. Now, clearly, you have the choice to follow that speed limit or not. If you choose to follow the speed limit, the police will leave you alone. If you choose to exceed said speed limit within a certain amount, the cops will pull you over and, charge you for speeding. But the choice was yours whether or not to speed. Okay, the choice is yours whether to go into a building that they tell you you're not allowed to go into. That is your choice. Okay, so you get the energy in your body working. Your energy level goes up, your stress level goes down, your health climbs exponentially in a lot of cases. In my case, getting my energy running properly is a lot of why these are becoming less and less useful. Okay, and I intend on bringing them back fully into full function. So what I do at this point is my glasses I leave in the office, because the one place I do find I require them periodically, actually quite regularly right now, is where it comes to the actual the actual computer. But other than that, I don't actually use them very much anymore, and I used to be virtually blind. Okay, so you get the energy in your body working, then you work on the energy in your main working area. Now, I got up this morning and fortunately I'd already cleared everything off. So my office desk is all working smoothly. Okay, and I can carry on with my day. But it does take a certain amount of consistency. Okay, so when you take a look at that, you get the energy working, you get things set up in your office so they're easy to run, so they're easy to reach. Okay, and you move forward from there. Once you've got the energy in your office, wherever you do your primary work on your finances. Okay, and yes, you may not do it right now, but I will tell you, if you desire your house to run properly, having your finances run smoothly is absolutely imperative. Okay, so I've made a commitment to myself. I've got a number of other, like I've mentioned the books I've got that are sitting here. Oh, look at that. You can't even see them right now. Well, we're just going to leave that there and just not worry about it. So, pardon the moving around, but that's just the way that's going to go. But I've got a number of books sitting right here, apparently just out of range. So what I will probably do, I may end up moving them back here where you can actually see them. But that being said, I've got some other ones ready to go to print that I will be going to my printer to print locally. And then they will become available as soon as I've got them in stock. But if you look at the list below this video, you'll find a list of different books that I've already written. Okay, and I'll get into those on a different day. But get the energy working in your office. Make sure it's laid out properly. Now, here's the thing I did. Because I have trouble with computers a lot of the time, I'm still a dinosaur. This is my database. That's my list of phone numbers and everything else that I have. Okay, and the reason for that is so I can find them. Because more often than not, I end up losing track of things in the computer. Yeah, I know. Computers are supposed to be great, but West Kootenai Power, which used to be a company in Kelowna here, used to have a sign. Used to have a sign in their office that said, "To err is human. To really foul things up requires a computer." Okay. If you don't believe me, put all your data into a computer and then have a power outage and see how useful it is. Or, for that matter, have a great big spreadsheet and put one number in wrong and see what happens. By the way, personal recommendation, don't do that. Okay. Simply because if you do that, you could run into snags that are just annoying as all get out. I found more often than not, if I don't shut down my computer properly and I close all the documents I've been working on, what ends up happening is a computer reboots and I have to find them all and sort it out again. So I made a commitment to myself, again, when I'm doing my working, that when I'm done for the day, I close every document down and shut the whole thing. And I don't necessarily shut the computer down, but I close all the documents down so that if the computer reboots while I'm asleep, it doesn't lose any of my documents. Makes it so much less stressful. Okay. Now, once you've got your house running smoothly, or your office running smoothly, then you work into the other aspect. Oh, we are seeing that, right. Once you've got your house running, the office working, spread out to the rest of your house. One room at a time. Okay, and that's where this list comes in, real convenient. Okay, by putting a list together, you can make sure you stay on track. I know it works for me like a charm. Okay, from the office, now that I've got most of what I'm aiming at, there's still stuff that's got to be sorted around. Okay, these figures, as I mentioned, are ones that are set to be painted once I get done my recording today. Okay, I've already got them listed here. Because I paint so many of them at once, I've got a list here of the different colors that I'm using, so I don't have to think about it too terribly much. I just have to go through the work, which will make it so much easier for me to get these things tied off. Okay, now I've got the two things that I keep in my room, in my office, ready to see, are that wood sign up here. The one that says, point where it is, there it is. The sign that says, I am worth it. 4 most powerful words in existence regarding redeveloping self-esteem, self-motivation, and obviously self-worth. Then I've got this one here. I have legally acquired a minimum of $2,500 by October 31st, 2021 at 1 minute to midnight. And because I run a home-based business, I've also got this one, which says Inner Voice Enterprises, which is my business, has legally generated a minimum of $600 by October 31st, 2021. Now, that is up from last month. Okay, and the trick with that is that dollar value. That is what it takes to run your home, your rent or mortgage, whatever it is, or your lease, your insurance, medical, life, and auto insurance, your utilities, your entertainment, and your food. Okay, I can do it on that. But the trick is, every time, and we'll get into this later, okay, and not later today, by the way, every month, what if you hit that goal, raise the goal a little further for the following month. Now, the weird part about it was I decided, okay, I know what I require to run the house. So if I put that there and then I smashed the daylights out of the limit that I was aiming at, part because of the way things came in, part because of the way that I had actually dealt with it. But the net result was I smashed the daylights out of it. So instead of raising it a little, I raised my income target by $500. I am now raising. I will be raising it again in November, given that I break the 2,500 this month. Okay, but once you get the energy in your office running, so that you can look at your office and go, I know where everything is, I know how to find it, and I can go and grab it. Like I went through my filing cabinet over here a little while ago, right? Went through that filing cabinet to make sure I had the files necessary to run my household. Once I'm done in here, or while I'm doing that, I'm also going through the rest of the house and straightening out the energy there. Now, something that I didn't think to mention before. If you happen to have a mirror facing your front door, when you open the front door into your house or into your apartment, if you happen to have a mirror there, leave it there by all means. But mirrors have a bad habit of reflecting energy out of your house. If, however, you take whether you take fake flowers, live flowers, or decals of plants, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be flowers. Plants work. Okay. If you've got a mirror that points out of your house, whether it's coming from a doorway or, for that matter, through a window, I personally take ivy and put it in the corner of the mirrors because it's just a decal of ivy. Okay, but I do that because it helps balance the energy out and encourages energy growth. Now, of course, this is why you minimize the negative stuff and you maximize the positive stuff. By doing that, you'll make your world work a whole lot better. Don't take my word for it. Take a look at the way your world is working. If you have not implemented these methods before, give it a shot, see what happens. Now, I've mentioned the last couple of times I've been on that I'm reading these 2 books. I'm just about finished the one. Okay, and I'll pick another one after that. Okay, I might even decide on 2 more. I don't know. But the one, which is the I Want to Know Encyclopedia, that one is, where did I just put it? Over here. That's this one here now. Some of you will recognize this encyclopedia. Personally, I've read the thing cover to cover, all volumes, except the tail end of this one. And on this one, I'm currently on page 123, and it's only got 144 pages. So, needless to say, not too terribly long, I'll be done that. The other one that's going to take me a while is I encourage you to do this, especially if you're a Christian and you happen to follow the Bible. Okay, grab the thing and keep going to your Bible classes if you choose, but get the Bible yourself. Okay, and read the thing cover to cover and see what you find out. You'll find there's a lot of stuff that you're not being told. Now, of course, in my case, I've got memories that date back to that time. And I can tell you wholeheartedly, there's a lot that's in the Bible that has been pared down or completely disregarded. But again, don't take my word for it. Do your own research. Okay. And remember where it says, where you're told, and this is to everybody, by the way, do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. So if you do not desire to be looked down upon or judged for your religious beliefs or your lifestyle choices, if you do not desire to be looked down upon by others, do not look down upon others. Okay. The only time that changes, if you take a look at it in a literal sense, which I have a bad habit of doing on occasion, or a good habit, I don't know which. But my other half, I will undoubtedly pretty much always look down upon. Of course, in all fairness, I'm taller than she is, so I don't get options. Okay, unless I happen to be sitting down, at which point I can look up to her. But again, this is the literal side of things. When you're dealing with people, that sounds really, really weird. By the way, this is a live recording. Meaning, I go back, I double check to make sure I got the date right and the time right. And other than that, I just post it as is. So, if you ever do actually meet me in person, and some of you have, if you ever meet me in person, you'll find I talk exactly the same way. Granted, I don't tend to talk with my hands half as much when I'm sitting talking to somebody, but that's just me. Actually, in all fairness, I think it's a lot of people. But once you've got the energy in your body working and the energy in your office working, move to the rest of the house. Get rid of the clutter. Clutter has a tendency of causing bottlenecks in energy flow. It does, and again, instead of take my word for it, tidy the place up, remove the clutter, and see how much more energetic you feel, or how much happier you feel. I'll tell you, it was absolutely bizarre one day. I was in somebody's house, and they absolutely refused. They hated washing windows, right? But they were always depressed. And I looked at them and I said, okay, look, wash the window. I don't want to wash the window. I said, I don't care if you want to wash the window. You require light. Humans are on the whole diurnal, meaning they are daytime. They thrive in the sun. They tend to wither a lot in the dark. This is one of the reasons why people tend to sleep at night. Okay, is because your biological clock is built that way for most of you. Yes, a lot of you have gotten into nighttime jobs where you're up all night and you have to sleep during the day. But the reality is that health-wise, and talk to your own medical professionals, okay, or look at your own body and see which way you're feeling better. Are you happier and more energetic during the day or during the night? Okay, and that's not including those insomniacs of you. Okay, some of you just plain don't sleep. Myself, the happier I am, the more relaxed I am, the more energetic I wake up with. And the reality is, for me, like last night, what time did I actually get up this morning? I don't rightly know. So I'm just checking because now I'm curious. But I have a way to do that. See, I got to bed last night about just after midnight. So I actually did get close to 6 hours last night. But I woke up with a staggering amount of energy. Most of the time, I'm only getting 3 or 4. So when I get 6, that should run me really solid for the day. Okay. But the more the energy runs smoothly in your house, the easier you're going to find it to go out and deal with people in public. Okay, you'll be able to deal with their stresses or with the stresses of modern day society. They do exist. Now, here's a neat little trick. And this is one for those of you that follow the lines of working with energy. Most of you know about the idea of surrounding yourself in a bubble of white light. Okay, but here's the mechanics behind it. In your mind's eye, and call it your imagination if you choose, you can say it's just a mindset, or you're just playing a game with yourself, or however you want to explain it. Be my guest. But give it a whirl anyway. You surround yourself with that bubble of white light in your mind's eye. Imagine yourself inside it. Okay. Once you've imagined yourself inside said bubble, okay, that will protect you from the negative energy that is around you, that is just there because you're on the planet. Then turn around and surround that bubble with mirrors facing away from you. Kind of like looking through a one-way mirror. What that will do is that will change the energy. That will reflect back the negative energy that other people generate. Okay, things like arguments or discordant energy, people that are fighting with each other, people that are mad, it'll reflect that negative energy back to them. Okay. With that, you run real thick, healthy roots right from the soles of your feet straight to the core of the earth. This will bleed off the negative energy you personally generate. Things like self-doubt, self-recrimination, self-reprisal, this sort of thing. Okay. Now, while you're doing that, that will take care of most of that. But keep in mind that one word I said to run through your mind. Okay, that one word, heal. Any energy that comes into you that hits that barrier will also subsequently heal because that barrier is part of you. So what happens is somebody sends negative energy towards you, it gets transmuted into positive energy and sent back. Net result, you're deflating that negative energy level. Remember that thing about minimize the negative, maximize the positive? This is just another aspect of it. Okay, now with that in mind, I'm going to let you go because we're at the half-hour mark here. So, that being said, take care of yourselves and each other. And for pity's sakes, stay positive.